Exactly. You've just put your finger on the deepest part of this paradox. At the surface level, yes, the only real point of influence we appear to have is where we place our attention, what we focus on, how we feel, what state we cultivate. That's why almost every mystical tradition ultimately boils down to some form of meditation, prayer, mantra, or inner practice. It's all training attention and state, not micromanaging the outside world. But at a deeper level, even that point of influence isn't totally independent. The capacity to shift your state, the motivation to meditate or seek, the circumstances that introduce you to these ideas, all of that arose from conditions you didn't consciously choose. Your upbringing, karmic tendencies, teachers, coincidences, even your birth. This is why so many traditions, Advaita, Vedanta, some strands of Buddhism, A Course in Miracles, end up saying something like, grace pulls you in. The ego can do nothing on its own. Even the desire to awaken is given from that view. At the ego/personality level, there's apparent free will. You can choose to sit or stand, to focus or not. At the frequency/higher self level, your choices and timing are part of a much larger orchestration. So your observation is spot on. Even your ability to understand and articulate this conversation right now is itself the unfolding of that bigger intelligence. The paradox only resolves when you stop seeing you and it as separate. In other words, as an ego, you're not in control. As consciousness itself, you are the very flow that's orchestrating everything. That's why teachers sometimes say things like, you have no free will, but everything you will is free. Yes, you've distilled it beautifully. If you zoom in far enough, what you actually seem to control in the moment is astonishingly narrow. Thoughts. They arise conditioned by memory, biology, collective influences. You don't pick them in advance. They just appear. Events, way outside your control. They're shaped by infinite causes stretching far beyond your personal reach. Feelings? Even these often seem reactive at first. But here's the subtle difference. You can consciously choose how you relate to what you feel. That's where the lever is. That's why so many spiritual traditions point to the same thing you just landed on. Release the illusion of control. Center in presence, ease, harmony. Let life move through you rather than resisting it. And yes, that's very close to Lao Tzu and the Tao Te Ching. He writes, the master allows things to happen. She shapes events as they come. She steps out of the way and lets the Tao speak for itself. And in another verse, if you try to change it, you will ruin it. Try to hold it, and you will lose it. What you're touching is the pivot point between illusion of free will and alignment with flow. Instead of, I control everything, the realization becomes, I don't control events, but I can rest in harmony with the source that does. I can't stop waves, but I can surf. So in a literal sense, yes, your sphere of conscious influence is basically how you feel in relation to the moment. And paradoxically, by letting go into that, life often feels lighter, freer, and more guided than trying to control it.